Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of What If, and I hope you guys enjoyed the What If Asta was Zoro's reincarnation what if, and now we're gonna go back to what if Luffy was Bond's reincarnation, part 6? I don't know. You'll see whatever you see. Now let's get right into it. I hope you don't, mind the background noise, It's loud sometimes here, but, the video is still gonna be fire, so keep watching. So we last started off with the Straw Hats going to Ennie's lobby to tell the government that Robin belonged to the Straw Hats, and after doing so, they leave on the merry, but later had to burn it and take it out of its misery because it had just been through too much, and they get a new ship and a visit from the marine hero, of course being Luffy's grandpa. Luffy and Zoro meet Kobe again, along with Helmeppo, who have been training and getting stronger and had a huge growth spurt, huge. Luffy says he will fight Kobe again seriously in the New World after he becomes an admiral, and then the Straw Hats leave and also recruit Frankie as their shipwright. The Thousand Sunny takes them across the sea, being an awesome ship, and leads them to Brook, and after some events, they even make it to Thriller Bark, and also everyone has new bounties, which are awesome, even Chopper getting a good bounty, and it makes them one of the strongest groups in the sea. After going to Thriller Bark, Luffy beats Gecko Moria, taking his devil fruit by accident, and even though he should have died, he didn't, and they meet Kuma, a warlord, and he asked Luffy for help, so Luffy took his essence and shadow into his body using the Kage no Mi, so he will find him a new body later, but right now he's with Luffy. With Kuma's shadow and essence, Luffy gets some interesting information, as well as the fact that Sabo is alive and he sees his father's face, and anyway, while trying to go to Fishman Island, they meet a mermaid named Kami and her starfish friend, and they help Kami and Papag, I don't know how his name is spelled, and they go save Hachin, who Nami doesn't forgive, but she did like his takoyaki. And the group makes it to Sabaody Archipelago, and there some trouble ensues when Kami is captured, and Luffy saves her with his crew also hurting. Well, he hurt a Celestial, not them, but he hurt a Celestial. And then they meet Kid and Trafalgar as well as Rayleigh, and regardless, a fight happens as admirals are called, those admirals being Kuzan and Kizaru. Luffy's feet would then be frozen by Kizaru as he is then surrounded by giant ice spears, but as they stab into him, Luffy enters gear second, appearing and sweep kicking the admiral. As he falls, Aokiji is stomped in the stomach and craters into the ground, as he then turns to ice, reforming to hold on to Luffy, who then uses his special ability, and Kuzan starts to lose power and melts off Luffy, returning to his normal form. To the shock of Kuzan, however, he then sees Luffy cannot manipulate ice like he can. I've never done this before. Wanna help me figure it out? Kuzan tries to back away as Luffy then creates an ice saber and slowly walks up. Kizaru then sees this and shoots a light beam at Luffy, but gets kicked in the stomach, and Luffy easily just dodges the light attack and it hits the Marines themselves. You can copy devil fruits? Just what are you? Kuzan would ask, as Luffy then steps on him, keeping him in place as he kneels down. I'm the man who's gonna be king of the pirates. But I'm not ruthless, so I'll let you just sleep for a while. He not only exerts Conqueror's spirit, but inserts it in Kuzan, who completely loses consciousness, thinking that he should have learned more Haki before coming here. Luffy then stands up, giving Kuzan his powers back, and when his observation Haki goes crazy, he would then put up his hand, activating armament, and a giant axe strikes him, burying his feet in the ground as he looks above him, to see Sentomaru and another Kuma. So they really made another version of you? These bastards, they've gone too far, Luffy would think, as Sentomaru then says, Straw Hat Luffy, this place will be your grave. Now as the man says this, however, his axe starts to feel heavy as he starts to lose his strength, thinking that this must be Luffy's ability, and he orders the Kuma android to attack, and it opens his mouth, releasing a beam. This beam is smacked away by Luffy, who then goes into gear second, and filled with rage, he strikes the machine, killing it and causing it to blow up. No, this is gonna be your grave. Sentomaru then has his heart ripped out and crushed as Luffy comes out of the smoke cloud, asking his crew if they were done yet. He then sees Zoro cut up Kizaru, and after that he was kicked in the back by Sanji, who would then say, he protected himself with Haki. By the way, who told you to get in my way, dumbass? I told you this was my fight, Zoro would say. And the two start to argue, and they then sense bloodlust and look back to see an angry, smiling Luffy, who tells them to cut it out. They do, and then say that the others are already heading to the ship, and he heard it from the transponder, but then, it was shot and broken, and Luffy smiles saying, alright, let's go then. Now, this is the first time Luffy uses Conqueror's Haki to such a degree, as he knocks out all the Marines coming for them, including Kizaru, and as they fall, Kid and Trafalgar, who are recovering, then see this being shocked at what the Straw Hats can do, and, they leave the scene. Luffy and everyone then run to their ship and make it as they start to leave, and as they're leaving, of course, they're being chased by other Marine ships, and Luffy would say, and Nami would say, "Luffy, you really did it this time." I know. What about Kami and the others?" Frankie was paddling the ship, then said that Rayleigh guy came in and left with them. I think they'll be safe. He's crazy strong. Luffy then says, they have to go full speed ahead, and as he tells them to also hold on to the Thousand Sunny as hard as they could. And he then replicated Kuma's ability and touched the boat, and they disappeared out of sight from the Marines, but in fact, they were just sent flying into the air at super speed. "God damn it, Luffy, you're gonna break our new ship," Zoro would say, as Luffy then says, "No, I won't. The ship carries on Merry Spirit," of course trusting their new ship a lot. And they were, miles and miles away now. And as they were close to hitting the sea, Luffy breathes in as much air as he can, and while holding onto the ship, he blows out, and they do crash, but the impact is lessened, and they all survive. They see water then starts to fall on them as if it was raining, and dragging himself to the edge of the ship, Usopp would then throw up as Luffy says, "Sorry about that, guys." Sanji then walks over to Luffy like a zombie, saying he would kill him, as Brook then makes an undead jokes, and Robin would say, "Where are we?" Luffy then stretches his arm, landing on Sunny's head, and he looks to see an island, and he says that he doesn't know, but they're close to an island. But for now, they all agree to just take a break from their constant adventure, so they just sleep and stay asleep for a while. Now, they actually sleep until sunrise, and Zoro will be the first to get up, as he's kind of shocked at what he sees. Guys, everyone that wakes up and comes outside asking what's wrong before them being blinded by light, and they are surrounded by women wearing animal skin and wielding, prehistoric looking weapons. One woman then walks up, being giant, who has the appearance of a snake and was skinny. And Sanji would say she's beautiful, asking if this place was heaven, and Luffy then hits him on the head, actually knocking him out, and he walks in front of his crew trying to de-escalate the situation. "If we offended you in any way, we're sorry, but we don't want to fight. Besides, from the looks of it, you dragged our ship onto your island. You could have just let us float away." Sonia, one of the Gorgon sisters and the one that was in front of Luffy, then says that filthy pirates don't deserve to even come close to their island, and Frankie then says, "Wait, you guys dragged our ship onto your shore. This is on you." "Oh, that guy's a pervert," the girls will start to say, and Frankie then gets mad, and Luffy tells him to not disrespect his crewmate, or they will regret it. Saying this, he takes off his hat, activating his Conqueror's Haki, and the pressure makes the women drop to the freaking ground, and they drop their weapons as well, as Sonia then recognizes who this guy is. Sonia then apologizes for being so rude, and she said this territory does not just allow anyone to walk upon it, especially a man, and their leader wants to talk to the captain of the ship. Luffy then says sure, but looks down, seeing that he needs to put on some clothes, and he puts on his usual wear, and then heads out, telling his crew to stay with, the Sunny and protect it. Now, as Luffy follows Sonia, she looks at Luffy being nervous, thinking, this is the man who killed the Celestial and lived to tell the tale. If I'm not wrong, his bounty rose to 4.3 billion this morning. To think he beat an admiral, and his crewmates did so as well. Black like Sanji and Roronoa Zoro, if I'm not wrong. I wonder if we can quell his anger. Insulting one subordinate is a serious offense for any leader. Now, of course, she's terrified. So, Luffy gets brought to the palace of Boa, and as Sonia and him stand in front of Boa Hancock's door, Sonia opens the door, and as Boa and Marigold, see him, their faces turn to uneasiness when they realize who has entered their domain. And Marigold would ask, "Are you aware of who you have just brought in here?" "Well, you asked me to bring him in. What was I supposed to do? Besides, he didn't hurt anyone. I think he actually came to talk." The sisters then notice, Luffy gazing at Boa, but not with lustful eyes, but he just seems interested with her, and the reason doesn't seem to be sure, but he doesn't look like he's, like other guys usually do, look at her in that way. The sisters then, start to, feel a bit uneasy, and Boa would ask, "For what reason do you keep staring at me, Straw Hat? You kind of remind me of someone I used to know." "Well, I have no interest in being your lover. Please don't tell me an emperor would start a little war over a woman." "Why not? You're kind of definitely worth it." Boa then blushes as Luffy then smiles at her, and the other sisters are surprised, and they shield their sister, telling Luffy to stop making her uncomfortable, and he says sorry about that, but what do you mean by emperor? My bounty might be high, but I'm not on that level yet. Well, I am, but... Sonia then tilts her head confused. "Do you maybe not know the government has made you the 5th emperor of the sea?" The elder, Neon then steps in with Luffy looking back, asking who she was, and the elder would then say, Monkey D. Luffy, thank you for visiting. Boa then tells her to stop procrastinating, prostrating before a man, and she says that she doesn't care because, him being here means that their home is safe. And Luffy says, okay, but even if I'm an emperor or whatever, I'm doing what I want to do. I don't work for them, so they might do whatever they think, they have to do. Well, if they want to die, that is. The whole situation is kind of messy, but regardless, they, start to talk, and Luffy would say that he, of course, is not here to cause any danger, as, if he wanted to, the island would already be obliterated. And as they're talking, the girls realize that Luffy is really nice and funny, and half the time he doesn't even realize how big of an influence he has. He's just a normal guy. Nia would then say, oh, by the way, I heard of an execution happening. Apparently a pirate named Fireface Ace will be killed in a few days. I thought you might be interested in it. As Luffy hears this, he freezes up, showing a look of worry and terror. Ace? They got him? Boa then asks why an emperor is so shocked to hear this, with Luffy standing up as he bows to Boa, begging her to help him out. I will never ask you of anything like this ever again. Please just help me save my brother. I will literally do anything you want in return. The girls would then be shocked to learn that his brother, is about to be executed, and he even, takes out Ace's Vivid card, and they see it as fading away really fast, and now it's fading even faster, and Luffy's worried. They probably know me and Ace are close, and if that's the case, they've got to be waiting for me. Or maybe they've sped up the execution. How long would it take to get to Marineford? Now, they say it would take a week, but feeling like Luffy is a good man, Boa takes a leap of faith and says that she will help him out, and at this moment she starts to kind of just blush even more, and the women realize that she's kind of fallen for Luffy a bit. Now, as they talk about it, with his crew, they are told to protect the island while Boa and Luffy are gone, and Zoro says, yeah, don't worry about it, this is personal, right? Meanwhile, Sanji would be fawning over all the other girls in this kingdom, as this is literally his paradise, and yeah. And Nami is a bit jealous that Luffy's going to be spending a week on a boat with a pirate empress. Anyway, so from here on out, things go the same way, getting past, Impel Down and Ennie's lobby, and they make it to Marineford and infiltrate its huge underground prison. Luffy makes sure to tell Whitebeard of his plan, and he will try to save Ace, but if he needs to, he will go on a rampage. So Boa gets inside the prison and turns a guard into stone, as Luffy would then come out from her dress, which she was hiding in, which is pretty weird. I wonder what kind of things he saw in there. And Boa would say, I'm sorry, I can't come with you, Luffy. Really, Luffy then hugs Boa, saying, the fact that you got me here is enough. I told you, I got this. He then runs off, leaving Boa, a bit surprised, because, she didn't think that he was going to hug her, like that. And so Luffy sneaks around using the Vivo card, and he passes through the halls of the prisoners, and will be taking, no time to talk to any of the prisoners, but they're kind of just talking to him, and they start to realize who he is. And honestly, this place kind of reminds him of his prison, because he was tortured for years, if you guys didn't remember that about Bond. But then he hears rumbling and looks back to see Buggy being chased by 4 huge guards with axes in their hands, and it looked really animalistic. Keep it down, he would say, as his eyes go red, releasing Conqueror's Haki, and the guards pass out in a pile. Buggy would then barely stop himself as he falls in front of Luffy, and he then looks up to see Straw Hat. Oh, it's you, clown. How you doing? Did you come here to save me, maybe? Luffy then says hell no, as he's here for something way more important, and starts heading off, with some prisoners recognizing who Luffy is even more now. And more importantly, they want out of this hell, but Luffy is not going to let them out, because they probably will be just killed or just ruin other people's lives if they escape. So Luffy then moves on his own, and Buggy follows him, as he knows that it's the only way for him to survive, and Luffy would soon make it to the first level of Marineford, called the Crimson Hell. But of course, simply using his skills, he would just walk on the spikes laid out on the floor, while the guards are unable to do anything, because, they laid out a completely hellish place, so how the hell are they going to maneuver through it? And also, it's Luffy. So they then head down to the second level, and as they go on, soon Buggy would have found some people who wanted to follow him, but Luffy just kept moving to where the Vivicore pointed. He didn't really care. Now, as he faced countless monsters, he simply, beat them up, all of them up. And also, they're gonna find Mr. 3. Just one of the people that, wanted to follow Buggy was Mr. 3. And, yeah. He was nearing the floor that he needed to be on, and by this point, the people that Buggy freed would go wild and cause big trouble, but Luffy just wanted to find Ace. And when they're on the 3rd level, it is hot as hell, but Luffy has been through so much worse in his past life, and continues to just kick ass while moving forward, with Buggy asking, are you even human? It's really hot in here. You don't feel that? Not really. The monster Luffy had just beaten up would have just been grabbed by a tough net, taking up Mr. 3 and Buggy, but Luffy just sensed this already and dodged it, as he would then, be attacked by 3 more guards, and 2 giant monsters. Okay, maybe I should have a little bit of fun while I'm here. Gear 3rd. He then blows up both his arms and envelops them in a hockey as he uses Grizzly Magnum, blowing away his enemies in one blow, and then he frees Mr. 3, and then Buggy, they all get freed, and, they keep moving forward, and, word of Luffy being an impel down spreads as people are panicking. Guards are adding more locks to Ace's and Jinbei's cell until they have to move him, and Jinbei would ask, this Luffy you speak of, he is the current 5th Emperor, yes? Ace then nods, saying, until a few years ago, that little brat couldn't catch up to me. Now, he's an Emperor of the Sea. You can imagine how proud I feel. But are you sure you should be so relaxed? Jinbei would ask. Ace then smiles, saying, if it's Luffy, he'll be fine. I trust him. He's pretty terrifying, It's hard to believe I'm the older brother. So, as for Luffy, on the way, he meets Bon Clay, aka Mr. 2, aka one of my favorite characters, because I love Bon. Bon is not Bon, Bon like Luffy's wrinkle, like Bon Clay. I love this nigga. He is awesome. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, the one that can switch faces, and they hug it out because Luffy really likes him quite a bit, and he likes his eccentric attitude, as do I. Now, as they move forward, they do not meet any more monsters, and they meet a chief warden of Marineford instead, suiting a government uniform, and he was a poison man, so he was melting because of the extreme heat. Monkey D. Luffy, we all thought making you an emperor would make you more mature, but I guess that doesn't matter to you. Luffy then laughs, saying, you think I care about being an emperor? Doing this gives me 2 important things. My brother back, and certain others that might happen to just be here, pointing at Bon Clay, and it shows that I clearly have no interest in becoming emperor, and honestly, I don't see any of you stopping me. The warden then releases all of his poison, sending a huge wave of Luffy, who then blows up his arm and blocks it with his companions, being really happy and gaining some respect for Luffy, because he doesn't have to save them, but he chose to. But, Luffy starts to be covered in purple aura, saying hunt, as he then swipes away the poison wave to show the warden on his knees, breathing heavily, and he would actually be affected by the hot floors and is in indescribable pain, but he waves at Luffy, shooting poison needles at him. However, as they hit him, they simply get absorbed by him, and he himself has become a poison man. Bon Clay would then yell, you can copy devil fruits? Luffy then reforms, saying he can, which is news that has been spread to the government officials, but the warden still had to do his job. However, after this, when Luffy walks forward, just takes one step, the fear hits him, as he is not able to move at all, being terrified, and the 4 just walk past him, making it to the 5th level, which is so cold that you freeze instantly. And now at this point, as they would be getting chased, Luffy knocks out the pursuers, saying, you guys okay? Bon Clay and the others would then start to freeze up and already getting hypothermia, and so Luffy is worried as he uses Rio and wraps them in armament hockey. The 3 then start to get up as Buggy would ask, what kind of monster are you? Hey, I just saved your life, okay? Now, Mr. 3 not really having a reason to hold a grudge to Luffy since his boss was an a-hole anyway, he really was happy, for him, he was happy that Luffy was here. And, it really doesn't matter because Mr. 3 wanted to follow Buggy now. Now, this is when Bon starts to dance, like he usually does because he's happy. And then they make it to the hideout of Ivankov and actually are brought in by one of his men. After this, Luffy and Ivankov would meet up, their eyes, meet up. And when he enters the area, he just sees him singing and dancing. And he actually jumps on the stage and does a number with him. And everyone loves his act. And they just barely notice that he came out of nowhere. But when he's done, this is when Ivankov would then ask what the hell he's doing here because he's never seen him before. Shit, I got distracted. Look, we have to talk about Kuma, and you didn't help me find Ace, and a bunch of other stuff. Ivankov is surprised to hear about Kuma and asks if he's okay, and this is when Luffy, his face just turns to one of sadness, and the crowd gets serious as Luffy then tells him what happened to Kuma. He's trying to find a new body for him, and according to his memories, Kuma was Ivankov's best friend. Just what won't those government bastards do? One of the people in the crowd would say, and he really did that just for his friends? This guy is awesome. But, of course, we're talking about Kuma. But, of course, Luffy's story of how Kuma became involved with the government is quite sad, and it makes them realize that this is a big deal. Can I see him? I know it won't be the same, but Luffy then nods as he opens his mouth, letting out Kuma's essence out of his body, which shows his shadow, which is basically not even full human anymore. It looks distorted. But, of course, it is huge, and Luffy says that it is currently resting. After I gained a new devil fruit, I used memories to lead me to you. And according to him, this guy met my brother and my dad. I think he deserves this much. Everyone gets quiet before yelling, wait, What, you have 2 devil fruit powers? Oh yeah, I can't die, so the curse of the devil or whatever doesn't really affect me, you know? Everyone then says he shouldn't just think that's normal, but he doesn't know what else to say because that's just him. And Ivankov sighs, saying, this is certainly a weird situation. Wait, who's your brother and father? Luffy then says Sabo is his brother and Dragon is his dad, which shocks everyone as they back away with their jaws dropping. That guy's your dad? Buggy hearing this would almost pass out, as Bon and Mr. 3 as well would just be baffled, and Ivankov then asks where he was born, with him answering he was in the East Blue, and it makes him realize why Dragon was so secretive. This Straw Hat boy, he's a complete menace. Did Dragon realize he would become this strong? It's hard to believe he made it here without a single scratch. This is... never mind. He then says, look, Straw Hat boy, I may be able to give Kuma a new body. It won't be easy, but I can help, and for now I'll just accompany you. I want to be of use. Luffy then nods as he takes back Kuma's shadow, and he would take out Ace's viewer card, and it was still wilting away, but they still know where to go, and they have to hurry because he's actually down on the 6th level, not the 5th, like Luffy thought he was. Also, Inazuma, the Scissor Man, a part of Ivankov's entourage, comes as well, and the rest of Ivankov's men kind of cause trouble, and they go to open the door for Impel Down, for Marine, wherever they are. I forgot. I really get the stuff mixed up. Sorry guys, it's been a while since I've seen that art. So every obstacle in Luffy's way is blown away by sheer strength and haki, and this is when Ivankov sees why Luffy is Luffy. He's just a natural born kind of monster. However, when they make it to Ace's cell, he is gone. No, I'm too late. Hey you! He then grabs and rips off the giant prison bars and asks Jinbei, where did they take him? Where's my brother? You are Straw Hat Luffy, right? They just took Ace through their lift. If you run, you can still make it. Luffy then nods and walks over to Jinbei as he rips off his chain, setting him free, with Jinbei asking why he would. Clearly you don't belong here now. Stay still. This is gonna get weird. Luffy would then bite and release blood from his thumb, as he then tells Jinbei to drink it, as it has healing properties, and Jinbei, of course, is disgusted. Ivankov and Inazuma would be the same, but Jinbei, from what he's heard, is sure that Luffy's a trustworthy man, and they don't have enough time, so he just does what he says, and he takes Luffy's blood, which instantly starts to heal him, and he steams everywhere he's healing, and every cut from his body is gone. He is back to full strength. What exactly are you made of, Straw Hat boy? Ivankov would ask, and Luffy says he'll talk about it later, but right now they have to hurry up. And Jinbei wants to come, with Luffy, and Luffy then says he'll talk about it later, and Luffy tells Jinbei to come with him if he wants to see the sun again. And Jinbei nods as he would run with the group and go after Ace together. And by this point, Buggy left to do his own thing, as did Mr. 3, but Bon, who wanted to follow, is still with them. Now they go to the lift, but it's blocked off, and Jinbei would say, of course it wouldn't be that easy. Bon then asks Ivankov what they should do, and he would say, well, it'd be easier to just ask you to break the lift, but can you do that, Straw Hat? Luffy then says it might be a good idea, but it might collapse a part of the infrastructure. I won't risk lives like that. I guess we can just go to where they're taking him. They know what'll happen if they kill him. I will go on a rampage. So when we get to where they're taking him, there will be a war. That look that Luffy gives off when talking serious stuff reminds Ivankov of Dragon, and he says that he needs to head to Marine headquarters. We then cut to Whitebeard and his crew, as Whitebeard then gets a call from Luffy again, and everyone gathers to hear news from him. Can you hear me? I got some companions with me. We're gonna go to Marine headquarters. We couldn't get Ace, so we'll meet up there. This is gonna be our last chance. Whitebeard then laughs, saying no problem, as he says not many people can say they've been to Impel Down and lived. Stay alive, alright? Luffy on the other side of the call then nods and says yes, as he, does, because he's Luffy. And we do another time skip, and Luffy and everyone would make it out of Impel Down by going up, which is pretty long, but they make it out. And of course, Crocodile comes along, and he releases some of his men, but Luffy makes it clear that he better chill out with that fucked up shit he want to do. Why am I talking so weird? Now, as they're escaping, everyone is on high alert, and everything is on high alert, and they're attacked from all sides, with them decimating everything until they make it to the 3rd level, when Luffy meets Blackbeard. He and his group are blocked. They're blocking the Straw Hat's, the Straw Hat and his crew's way, not his crew, his group, his way, and Luffy knows who he is. So you're Blackbeard. I should have recognized you. Blackbeard then laughs, saying, with this weird bullcrap, and says, you're not getting past me, So you're the reason why Ace Boy is in trouble, Ivankov would say, and Blackbeard says, you know, if he hadn't stopped me, you'd be the dead one. Luffy then gets a bit cautious as this guy is being too confident and too serious, and he thinks that he must have something up his sleeve, so he bursts with Haki and enters Gear Second to an even higher degree as everyone is blown back by the heat and pressure, and his hair then stands up. Gear Second, high quick. His body then gets entirely covered in armament, leaving his body red with a black tint, and all the Blackbeard pirates then go to attack as Luffy then, as Blackbeard then uses his vortex, but then in the blink of an eye, all their heads are blown off, shocking everyone behind him. But Luffy gets confused as he gets out of his new form, saying, were these guys just bluffing, or were they just that weak? The five don't really know what to say as Crocodile then says, I can't believe I tried to fight you. I don't know what I was thinking. Can we just go? I'm tired of this stuff. Luffy then says sure, running forward, thinking that was far too easy, but yes, by the way, the Blackbeard pirates are most definitely dead. Blackbeard simply overestimated himself. Now, when they eventually make it outside, Luffy's group will meet up with, Buggy's group, and then they meet up with Whitebeard, and the one who opens the gates for them would be one of Ivankov's men, and they grab a marine ship and head for the marine headquarters at full speed, and as they do, Luffy looks at his viewer card, saying, I'm on my way. And after this, a day passes, and we see all the warlords gathered up as Sengoku reveals his true identity, the true identity of Ace, who was about to be executed. However, as the truth gets revealed, Ace simply smiles, saying, my one and only father will always be Whitebeard, no one else. This news is obviously being broadcasted, and this whole meeting is being broadcasted, shocking all of them, as Boa, who was in the crowd, would think, so he was never Luffy's actual brother, but the son of the Pirate King? Sengoku then says they must kill Ace today, even if it means going to war with Whitebeard, but Ace only smiles, freaking out Sengoku, when all of a sudden, the gates of the marine headquarters just shatter, as it reveals Whitebeard and, his huge ship, and we see Luffy and Whitebeard step up on the ship Moby Dick, saying, Ace had better be safe, you bastards. Whitebeard then activates his Devil Fruit power, raising his fist, and Luffy copies it again, because they both shattered, the gate, and together they would punch forward, shattering space itself and causing an earthquake which shakes the seas. Straw Hat is here? But why? He knows Fire Fist? Now, Kobe isn't surprised to see that Luffy is here, but others are, as only some admirals know how close they are, but they thought they were, strained or something. Regardless, these combined attacks cause a gigantic tsunami, forcing Kuzan to use a lot of his power to freeze it, as some of the marines get blown away and some of them are just killed. Mihawk and Doflamingo, who were there, then kind of got the urge to fight Luffy, since, he's one of the people who actually is known to beat Whitebeard. By the way, for now, that news is being kept secret by the government, and it is only known to important people that Luffy has beaten Whitebeard. Now, the crew of Whitebeard jumps on the battlefield, and the war would commence, and Vice Admirals come up as Luffy then lands on the battlefield, accompanied by Jinbei and Bon Clay and Ivankov. He then looks up at Whitebeard, telling him that he would go on ahead. Now, as soon as Luffy starts walking forward, he senses where Ace is, and he smiles, and he starts running, entering Gear Second, when out of nowhere, the ground has a huge burst of pressure, just kind of, cut it up, as he would then just jump and flip over this attack, only to see Mihawk come in front of him. Let's see if you're worthy, Straw Hat. He then swings at Luffy, only for him to just disappear out of sight as he appears atop the swordsman and kicks off his head, jumping into the air. I won't fight you, only Zoro should have that honor. Not that I couldn't beat you. He then disappears again, yelling for Ace, and the Marines attack him, and these Marines being giants, and they swing their giant mallets at him. However, Luffy then starts to bulk up, stealing their strength and their very physiology, as he becomes a giant himself, actually growing in size, and he would then land on the ground, shaking it, now being huge, as he grabs their necks, and as he does this, he throws them off the battlefield and into the sea with the sheer physical strength. Now, just as he did this, though, he starts to return to his normal form, and a wave of magma and ice come at him, and Luffy covers himself in armament, and the attacks hit him, sending him flying, and he slams into the ground, cratering into it, and Akainu and Kuzan then walk up to Luffy, who then stands up, with Whitebeard walking up behind him with the spear. Akainu, seeing a younger Whitebeard, would be shocked to find out that it was true that he really regressed in age. Go on ahead, old man, get Ace. I need to take care of these two, or they'll be coming back. Whitebeard then jumps away as him, Jinbei, and the others follow him, along with his crew, of course, and Marines surround Luffy. Give up, Straw Hat, Akainu would say, as Luffy would say, I should be telling you that. Luffy then threw off his slippers as he opens his mouth and then screamed, blowing back the Marines, and lightning sparks out Luffy, who would then fill his body with Haki. all the way down to his bones. His eyes gain more definition, focusing observation locking into them, and his hands become, well, not his hands, his nails become longer and sharp, and as does his toe, nail thing. They just grow sharp, and his hair stands up. And once again, his hair stands up. And the mark of a fox would be created on his back, along with hockey tattoos, and his muscles would grow but stay balanced as steam comes out of his mouth, and he says, "Gear forth, Foxman." Now, as the fog clears, the Marines see Straw Hat Luffy in a new form as he is bursting with this pressure, which makes most of them just scared, and Akainu and Kuzan attack, but before they can even use their devil fruits, they notice that they cannot. Damn it, we're too late, he stole our powers, Kuzan would think. And we then see Luffy cover his entire arm with magma, and his second one covered in frost, and he slams his hands together, creating this huge burst of pure power. Meanwhile, Whitebeard would actually be facing Fujitora, and they battle it out, with Whitebeard gaining the advantage, getting closer and closer to Ace. And back to Luffy. He is attacked by Kizaru as he kicks with armament, only for his leg to be caught, and Luffy throws him away across the battlefield, with Ivankov thinking, "What is that form? It's so ominous. He's bursting with so much energy." Kobe and Helmeppo would then be the next ones to attack Luffy, but Luffy knocks them out since he didn't want to kill them, and Akainu then dashes forward, punching Luffy with armament haki, but he blocks the punch with one hand as a shockwave then occurs behind him. "It's useless," Luffy would say, as this is when he notices his, as this is when Akainu notices his haki is being absorbed, and down he goes, with Luffy then slamming a punch in his face, and far off, the ground would start to crack under pressure as Whitebeard and Fujitora battle it out. Now again, all of this is being broadcasted. Now Kuzan, now being able to use his powers again, uses every last bit of it as a gigantic iceberg just erupts, catching Luffy in it, and the fog clears as everyone sees Luffy stuck in the iceberg. Is it finally over? Did he really do it? Wait, look. Luffy then opens his eyes and starts walking through the ice while melting it with his armament, and Kuzan tries to add more ice, but soon the iceberg shatters as Kuzan is then grabbed by the neck, and with a look, he is knocked out again, being pissed because this is like the second time this has happened. Luffy would then drop him as shards of ice fall all over, and Sengoku would then feel Luffy's gaze as, he's reached closer to Ace, his execution platform, and in an instant, he appears by him. Ace and Garp would then be speechless as Luffy would then say, "Sorry I made you wait so long." "No problem," Ace would say with a huge smile, and his restraints come undone all of a sudden because Luffy uses haki, as Sengoku then transforms and he palm strikes Luffy in his Buddha form, his golden Buddha form, and Luffy will copy his ability, making him weaker, and he counters his strike, making the ground under them crack. "Ace is free!" one of the pirates would yell as the pirates go wild, and Luffy has saved his brother, and Marco flies in using his Phoenix form, and he flies down safely. As for Sengoku, as he and Luffy clash, he feels something hit him, and he is sent flying by a wave of energy. And this is Luffy's potent amount of haki. It's just so powerful now that, it's just so powerful. Now this shocks the admirals because Sengoku was really strong, but Luffy is just bulldozing through everyone. Sengoku would then land far off and spits out blood, saying, as Garp would then say, "Why didn't you just listen to me? Why? Why didn't you just listen to me, you idiots?" Luffy then turns around bleeding from the mouth, and he's already healing as he says, "Sorry, Grandpa, I just can't help it. It's in my blood, Garp, with tears in his eye, would then go to punch Luffy, and Luffy counters it with his own, creating a shockwave, but Garp loses and is sent flying down as he craters into the ground. Luffy then overlooks this war, seeing everything that's happening as he sees Boa Hancock fighting for him. He sees all the people who have agreed to help him fighting for him, and Luffy would say, "Someone needs to fix this. This world's broken justice. It's just all screwed. Did we cause this somehow?" As he would think that maybe somehow his teammates fighting a war might have caused the ruin of this world, even if this is even this world to begin with. Now, as Luffy ponders this, he is caught by something, and off of him, he sees a huge amount of, strings. He's just caught in a web of strings, and he looks to see Doflamingo with a huge smile. Luffy easily breaks out of the strings, surprising Doflamingo, so he starts using Conqueror's Haki and tries to force his will on Luffy. "You can't beat me in this. I don't know what your deal is, but you better get off your high horse. I'm the only king here." Luffy then pushes back, and Doflamingo is sent flying as Luffy takes one step forward, confusing him as he's just in the air, and he would start to bleed at the nose, as he would think he just lost in a battle of will. How is this? What is he? Now at this point is when Sengoku also reveals Luffy's true background, saying he was the son of the revolutionary, and Garp hates this being revealed. And of course this news is being broadcasted, like I said, and everyone sees Luffy in his new form as he would smile and just jump down, joining Ace, and they start to, their escape. Their escape will be the most fun thing that Ace and Luffy had done together, and they fought hand in hand as powerhouses, and this is the start of a new era, the era of the Straw Hat Pirates. And when they finally got far enough, the Straw Hats, the pirates in general, were on Whitebeard's ship, and they would just be chilling as Ace walks up to a quiet Luffy who was just on his own. Sorry I got caught, Luffy then says, you can't apologize for being cheated. I'm sure he used dirty methods, right? I killed that bastard and his crew in one blow. There's no way you'd have lost him if he was fighting fair. Wow, an eye for an eye. You really were mad. This is because he hurt your big brother. Maybe a little. Oh, right, I wanted to tell you this after you were safe, but, he's alive, Ace. Ace would then be frozen up as Luffy says that Sabo is alive, and he screams it, and everyone on the ship would then see the two brothers crying and hugging it out as they're happy. They're kind of happy for them, and their two brothers are happy as well, and Jinbei would say, I guess even a man like him has moments of weakness. Whitebeard then walks up to Jinbei asking if Luffy saved him, and he said yes. Then I think it's only fair if you join him on this journey, don't you? Whitebeard is of course proposing that he join Luffy's crew, and honestly, Jinbei really wants to. Now, of course, it's going to take a while for Luffy to go meet with his crew again, and also meet Boa Hancock so they can go back to, his crew. And, yeah, it's going to take a while. But while they were gone, someone would visit Boa's territory, as we then see Zoro just practicing on the beach, on the shore, with his haki, but then he senses it. He looks to see Mihawk approaching his raft. By the way, if you're wondering how Mihawk made it here, he literally wanted to fight Zoro that much that he actually rode at insane speed, okay? It's Mihawk. He can do anything. Except beat Luffy. Mihawk would then say, Roar no Zoro, I've come all this way to fight you, so don't disappoint me. With an excited yet nervous smile, Zoro would then don his 3 swords and gets ready for battle. How does the current Zoro compare to Mihawk? And what are the Straw Hats' bounties going to be now that they've done so much? Find out in the upcoming parts. It's been me, Prince of What Is, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.